Hello, I'm James Keating, and welcome to our podcast today. I'm going to be talking about something, I guess the simplest term to call it, while there's other descriptors we could use, I'm just going to call it layering. And it doesn't always have to be in martial arts or security settings or anything in particular. It could be something that you use in your daily life. Layering is a concept that allows you, like plan B, plan A, plan B, plan C. If one thing doesn't quite work, maybe the other thing will. And they're designed to pop up as soon as the other one fails. So if the initial thing fails, or is perhaps just a ruse, a decoy, as soon as it falls, the next layer pops into place. And they say, oh, well, now we'll deal with that. Well, that's just another layer. If that falls, the next one will pop into place. Take, for example, some of us in our new cars have this forward-looking radar. Something steps out, an animal perhaps, on the roadway. The car will sense that, and it will brake automatically, with or without your assistance, because it senses there's an obstruction in the road. Let's say that's our first level. Well, what keeps you in the driver's position or the passengers in their place? The seat belt. So this is the second layer. What would be next? Think about it. Well, if none of that works and you hit this thing, the airbags would be next. And as you hit it, what also would protect you? The crumple zones. Crumple zones are built into the quarter panels and the frames of many vehicles today to prevent the passengers, the driver, from being hurt severely or killed. They sort of work in a coefficient way with the airbag system. So we have this series of things. As this car is stopped, either by your own volition or by that of the sensors, you're now into this situation. Whether you stop and not hit the object or whether you hit the object, this layering effect comes out immediately. When we look at security, we say, well, I'll wear my bulletproof vest. I'll carry my cell phone. I'll lock the car doors. Okay, that's all good, but what comes next? Well, maybe I have a pistol or some kind of weapon. But I'll use those passive defenses like the vest, like the cell phone, like a locked door to protect me before I go to those very active methods of a knife or a gun or something like this, or have my dog attack them, something. But again, they're layers. They're layers of defense. And layering is something that I've noticed a lot of professionals will do. It always sets you up to have an advantage. You're never really behind the 8 ball, like someone catches you off guard and you go, oh, I didn't expect that. I didn't know what to do. With layering, you don't have to expect it. You've already built that into your overall plan. And whether you get caught off guard or not, that next layer is waiting there to protect you, to help you, to guide you, and to check whatever needs to be checked that was incoming. Sometimes addresses, something simple as an address. The address that perhaps is on your documentation isn't really the address that you live at. It is your property, but perhaps you've rented it out to someone. Allow your brother to live there for a while, and you're living somewhere else. Well, this is layering. Whoever comes looking for you, bill collectors, the police, the assassins, whatever it may be, they're going to go to this other place, not where you're at. That will be the first layer when it falls. Oh, you weren't there. They came looking for you and you weren't there. Well, where is he? Right. That layer fell, giving me plenty of time to know, evacuate the second level and go to my third. And by the time they get there, I'll be well ahead of them, the bloodhounds that are looking for me. So even in something as simple as address, let's go back. I mentioned assassinations. In the old days, assassinations, the things the sicarios do. the things that our own government is doing now to its citizens. Not open warfare, but chicken shit assassination attempts. Little attempts to rub people out, arrest them, kill them in jail. We know what we're speaking about here. We're all adults. In the old days, assassinations were done with a single gun, a single bullet, and a single man. But if it failed, that target would then know he was being stalked. And the next time you went to do this, the assassin you sent the next time would have a much more difficult time. So it was learned very quickly that the ways of assassination in the West were not the best. So we adapted those that came from the East. And those were layered assassinations. So that way you had several shooters. Perhaps you would have an explosive in their vehicle. You would have layers so that when the first shot missed, the second one wouldn't, or if it did, the third one wouldn't. If they all missed, you would have another surprise waiting, and probably one more after that. Because you didn't want that target to then harden up to such a degree to where it could no longer be touched. So this is what would happen when you would blow the first attempt at someone's life. And this has been going on for centuries, friends. This is nothing new. You know, remember when Samosa's plane was blown up? That's when we lost Mikey Chanis. So layering is part of our overall warrior mentality. We layer everything in our lives so that even when we fail, we succeed. And even when that fails, we succeed. And people go, wow, how do you do that? Well, forethinking, forethought is needed. You say planning? Yes, planning, but specific type of planning to get specific things done. Mainly keeping you alive. And those who would rob you, stalk you, argue, you keep them in check. You don't have to kill them, but you can neutralize them. You neutralize their effects upon your world through layering. And this is intelligence at work. In your triad of mind, body, spirit, this is something of the intelligence. It's all right to be smart. So many strong men feel that I'm not a Poindexter, I'm not a nerd, I don't need, yeah, you do need to be smart. If you're already strong, you have at least 1/3 of the equation solved. So you're a very powerful, go-getting He-Man, good for you. But don't mock the nerd, don't mock the spiritualist. Instead, that's cutting their line. Instead, lengthen your own. Become more spiritual, become more intellectual. Now you're a very intelligent, smart son of a bitch and a strong, able-bodied son of a bitch. Oh boy, you just doubled your threat level to anything that will oppose you. And then you round that out spiritually to get that wisdom, that balance going, so that you don't use this advanced knowledge in a negative or bad manner, because the Spirit will guide you, those high morals, that compass that guides you. Because much of what you martial artists, you police, many of you know, this same thing that the assassin knows. But it's your morals, your high standards that keeps you from being that. You are the gun or the knife that saves lives. They are the gun or the knife that takes lives. So we would say our personality is layered so that we can survive in these rather strange times. So I'll leave it at that. I advise you to study the concept of layering, and studying it just won't do it. That's the intellect. Now, put it into the physical universe that you're in. Make it happen. Do it. And then be grateful for it. Gratitude is so important. Just gratitude that you're still alive in a situation like where some of us have found ourselves. This gratitude. I'm glad I made it. So these are the three things, the mind, body, and spirit. Never forget that's a layering too, because so many people only have that physical gratification. There is no spirit, there is no mind. It's just give me, give me, give me, sex, violence, drugs, all physical. Total imbalance. Ours must be balanced. May the path be balanced for you, my friend. I'm Jim Keating. Thanks for listening.